Hello, good afternoon. My name is Claudia Grimaldo with the Grimaldo Group.
Angel Ramos with the Grimaldo Group as well.
And today we wanted to talk to you guys about key questions to ask yourself before buying a home. We're going to go over a few things. If you'd like to ask some questions in the chat, and then we'll answer them as they come through. The first thing we wanted to touch base on is what's going on with home prices today.
Yeah, that's a big question that I've been hearing folks talking about. I could be at the supermarket or even at church or talking with the neighbors. Everyone's talking about what's going on with the home prices. Well, one of the things that's going on or that's being spread out is that the fact that they're increasing at a rapid pace. I mean,
Yes.
you could, if you bought a home in January here in Maricopa County for approximately $350,000, by the end of the year, you'll have an average of $45,000 to $50,000 in equity. Some even more.
Definitely.
So what's the reason behind this? A lot of times, the people saying, "What's going on with this, and why is this happening?" Well, there's a few factors to consider. One, of course, is low interest rates. When they dropped even more, and we've been accustomed to having low interest rates for probably 10 years, but recently the interest rates dropped even more.
Drastically.
We were like in the twos, and we're still you could probably find high twos and low threes. That's extremely low. Then you have to take into account that you have the baby boomers that was previously the largest group in the population out and about in full force, either selling or buying. But you also now have the millennials. The millennials is actually the largest group. They make up, since of 2019, they make up almost 72 million people of our population. And these are the folks, these millennials are out there ending their leases and moving and buying homes left and right. So you have baby boomers still out there, you have millennials, and you have low interest rates and a demand for homes. So, of course, places like Maricopa County has a lot of companies coming in, and that creates jobs. And with jobs, people are coming in from cities such as New York. They can work from home now.
Yes,
So all
working
these,
from home is definitely also changing a lot of the demand, right? The reasons why people need bigger spaces and need to be in their home, really making their home their own, right? We need more space, growing families. We also have more pets now, so I think that's another reason why a lot of the millennials are moving into purchasing homes. Now, you mentioned interest rates, and that is definitely one of the topics we wanted to talk about today, because it does make a big difference on your mortgage, right? And these are fixed rates, so you lock in your mortgage for the next 30 to 15 years, depending on what loan program you decide on getting. Now, when we start talking about buying homes, we usually start talking about buying homes with our friends and family and our neighbors, and they may have the best intentions for you, but they don't have, or sometimes don't have, the most crucial information needed for you to make a decision. So market trends and inventory and pricing, for example, is something that changes constantly that you really need to speak to a professional about. And loans is another thing that changes constantly. It really, there isn't one type of loan program that fits all, right? So you can't say that some person, because of this list of requirements, automatically fits in this loan type. So you wouldn't have this information customized to your situation unless you talk to a professional. So if you're asking yourself, should I buy a home? Definitely reach out to a realtor like myself. Our main goal is education. Even if you don't think you're ready now, this is really the best possible way for you to get all the information that you need before you make such a big decision.
Well, with home prices increasing, right? And because we mentioned how if you bought a house for $350,000 in January, you're most likely going to have $45,000 to $50,000 in equity. That's about almost 13% increase in value by the end of 2021. Well, put simply, home prices increasing. The longer you wait, the more it could cost you. If you go back 10 years ago, and of course some people may argue, well, It was a different market back then. Well, but if you had a home 10 years ago, where is that house in value today? And there's a pretty good chance that 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, you're going to have equity. You're paying your mortgage rather than paying someone else's mortgage. Because like I was discussing with Claudia, everyone is in fact paying a mortgage, whether it's yours or your landlord's. We're all paying mortgage. I mean, we need a roof over our head. We can't really be just thinking about sleeping under a tree, and maybe some folks do. But the point is, if you get a mortgage, for the most part, at least in the state of Arizona, once you lock in, like Claudia mentioned, you're going to be having a steady mortgage payment throughout the years. Whereas if you decide to wait it out and stay paying rent 10 years down the road, where's that rent going to go? Okay. And if you're paying your mortgage payment, your balance goes, every time you make a payment, it starts going down what you owe on that property. Your value goes up, what you owe goes down, and you keep that same payment. And chances are, throughout the years, your salary increases. When you're paying rent and you get a pay raise, there's a good chance that that pay raise is ultimately going to go to pay higher rent. You see what I'm saying? So
that brings us to the last question of the day, which is, what would it mean for you to own a home? So not only is this, for me, we were having this conversation before we started the video. For me, the stability that home ownership has brought to me is the biggest advantage. I understand that there's financial advantages, but I get approached by a lot of people that are at the end of their lease, and it's a week before they have to get out, or they have 30 days to find a rental, and just how the sale market is so tight and the inventory is so low and there's so much competition, the rental market is even harder. And I can't really jump into that market every single year. At the end of your lease, you either renew, which more than likely at the renewal, your cost will change, right? Via an increase. We've seen the average lease at last month for the month of June was $1,900 in the Phoenix area, which is a mortgage, really.
So you can get a mortgage, for example, $18,000, $19,000, even $2,000, right?
Yeah.
Well, instead of paying someone else's mortgage at that rate, you can pay yourself your mortgage and stay in that price.
Yes, you might pay $100 or $200 more, but within the next couple of years, you'll be paying the same, right, than you would have paid if you continued renewing your lease and you're paying down your mortgage. So the stability of knowing how much my monthly costs are and knowing that that's not going to change, at least not by a lot. Maybe my taxes go up a little bit and that'll change my payment by a couple dollars a month, maybe. But in reality, it stays very close to the realm for the life of the loan. And also knowing that I can live there as long as I want. I mean, knowing that I have that my commute to work, or for people who have kids, they could stay in the same school district, knowing that I could be there as long as I want and not have to deal with finding a new place, moving out, and dealing with new availability, right? Like today, maybe you didn't have a hard time securing your rental 5 years ago, but if your landlord decides that they are going to sell or that they just want to remodel and bring in new people, then you have to start from zero yet again, right? So you are going to be put up against other applicants, and they're going to look at your credit score, your income, just like a mortgage company would really do, and sometimes even a little bit harsher. So knowing that you have to do that, or you're at the mercy of your lender every 12 months, for me, stability is definitely one of the best things that you'll gain through home ownership.
Well, I mean,
not to mention, the safety and really just knowing that peace of mind.
Well, say, for example, even if you decide not to stay for 30 years in a house, some people, after 5 years, they get a job transfer and so on. But I've seen how beneficial that is. You get a job transfer, you have to move, now you sell your house, and you have equity to take with you,
Exactly.
And after 2 years, your capital gains is free of tax. Okay. So for a couple, it's up to $500,000. If you gain $500,000 in equity, that would be great, right? And you don't have to pay capital gains tax for a couple. For a single individuals, up to $250,000, free of capital gains tax after reliving it. And I know someone who buys a house every 2 years. Person is single, okay, granted, and it's easy. This person says, I'm building my way up to my dream house. Yes, every 2 years, and they strategically buy a property. After 2 years, they sell the house. So whatever furniture, they're always, not buying huge furniture because they have a plan and they're focused. So that individual is taking equity and strategically buying another property and building up to their dream house. But that's a great strategy. So everyone, like Claudia was mentioning, everyone has a need. Some of folks are looking to stabilize in a neighborhood and see and grow their family there. The kids stay in the same schools. Others are looking for a property to rent out. I mean, as an investment. As much as we are talking about, if you're renting, consider buying. But there are other people that are looking to buy properties to also help those that, for whatever reason, can't buy for the time being. So there's a need out there and there's a demand. Renting is very, very difficult nowadays. I've had clients that we've been helping to try to rent because their situation doesn't allow them at the moment to buy. And it's very, very difficult to rent. There's like sometimes 10, 15 people trying to rent one house. So
yeah, the demand is like stronger for rentals because it's also that there's less rentals available. We were just looking at some statistics, and for every one home that is leased, 5 homes are sold in the area. So there's just less homes to rent, which is why rental prices have also gone up.
So where do we start? If we want to buy a home, like you mentioned earlier, I would consult with a real estate agent. And in this case, Claudia and myself are real estate agents. And we would be more than happy to assist you with sitting down, making an appointment, providing you a buyer consultation, which we would provide you a market analysis and all the details, break down the process from A all the way to Z.
Definitely. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you really want to talk to people that are in this every day, right? This is what we do every single day. We look at the inventory. We work with buyers constantly. Buyers that are, like Angel mentioned, some of them, we're not buying their dream home. We're just buying a home because this is their starting point. Others that are at the point of dream home where they've bought the first home, got their foot in the door, purchased a second home that was closer to their dream home, but not yet. And then it's just, it will eventually get you there. You have to get your foot in the door. And the way to get your foot in the door, first step is a buyer consultation. During the buyer consultation, we go over what to expect if you're ready to buy now. If you're ready to buy now, we go over market trends, what you need to offer to have a successful offer, what the costs are during the process. So this includes inspections, appraisals, home warranties, your loan costs. We also invite a lender, if you're not working with one already, one of the lenders that we work with that we know will work hard for you. And we ask them to do an assessment and a mortgage application and find out what it is, if you're ready now, what your purchase power is today, how much cash you would need today to buy. And if you're not ready now and you need 6 to 12 months, which honestly, most of the people that we speak with, they're not ready to buy tomorrow. They're going to be ready in 6 to 12 months to 24 months, some of them. But unless you come in here and get a proper assessment of your current situation and really find out what the process is, what the costs are, how much money you need to have in your pocket, it's going to be harder for you to acquire a home. So even if this is just way in the back burner, give us a call because you will then know what you need to do to buy. If you're not ready today, we help you get ready to buy. And we really, I want to say we do clarify a lot of myths. I feel like when we're at the buyer consultation, we have a lot of questions that come from previous experience of other people that maybe no longer, they're no longer applicable because things change. So, and again, one type of loan doesn't fit everybody. One experience is not going to be the same for everybody. Especially this last year, we've seen the market change so frequently. So
Well, don't let the power of assumption take away. Not assumption. People assume. I assume that I can't buy. I had a couple come in and tell me, Angel, you know what? We've been contemplating potentially buying a house, but I guess we can't because of this, because of that. And I says, well, allow me the opportunity. Come into the office. Let's sit down. And we'll look at everything. And you never know unless you try. Well, they came in. We sat down. We brought a lender, and lo and behold, they had a pre-qualification letter very soon, and we were able to help them buy a home for their family. So here in the Grimaldo Group, all the real estate agents, because there's one group working as one, our goal is helping families create wealth through home ownership. That's our primary goal. And if you're planning on buying, selling, or investing, give us a call. We're here to help. Thank you so kindly.
Yes, thank you. Have a nice day. And we'll be doing this weekly. If you have any questions and the video is over, just go ahead and send us a quick message and we'll be live again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.